Hello and welcome to any view for the channel. This is the weekly free outlook, and we're actually making it again because the last video that we made had no sound. It's this one. We accidentally published it without sound. So, okay, we're gonna use this. We're gonna use this as help, as a proof of what we were talking about, because this is a trade that I took yesterday. This is the trade that we took yesterday. It was a bit more than 3 RR. It was around sorry, more than 5.5. It was around 6 or 6.5, 6.7, 6.7. So yeah, this is the trade that we were taking yesterday. And what I was trying to say is that Bitcoin, it's probably the thing to look for this week. Again, this is not a signal to tell you buy right here, Bitcoin is ready to go higher, but it's a hint on Bitcoin moving bullish. Okay, right now we're still overall bearish. We're still very early on the trend. The 200 EMA is not yet there, but we're turning around. Okay, and we're actually gonna do a full breakdown of how I think Bitcoin is gonna move this week. Okay, so first of all, everything still stands. Everything still stands on the analysis that we were having previously. And this is what I see on the daily. Okay, first of all, let's do the weekly. The weekly, what I see is, again, we are on an, you could say, in my opinion, I know some people disagree, but in my opinion, on the overall weekly, yes, we are, I honestly think we're still bullish on the weekly. Why? Because the EMA 200, it's below price, which for me, if the EMA 200 is below price, it means we're bullish. Price, it's very nice to the upside, and only two moves to the downside. Okay, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't have traded shorts, especially here. Here, I'm not so sure, depending on your time frame. But if you're on the lower time frames, yeah, for sure you could have traded this. But most importantly, this area, right? But overall, I will say we are still bullish. Okay, the only EMA that is not above price, sorry, below price, is the 50, which is a good indication that we're still bullish. Everything is clean, and when we go down into the daily, what I see is a clear downtrend all the way from this area. From this would have been amazing if you shorted this. You probably made money on this, and maybe even in this area. From here, I will probably be looking for shorts on the lower time frames, and these areas are great for that. Okay, but now we're starting to turn it around. Okay, and this doesn't mean, again, this doesn't mean you should just buy and everything's fine, you're gonna make tons of money. Of course not. But this is what I think people have been saying, is that they think that this move, this consolidation, this move to the side, it's the same as this one, and I highly disagree. Why? First of all, let's do, I mean, by the way, I have been talking about this in previous videos. So if you don't believe it, just go back into the videos and you'll see. I actually started talking about Bitcoin around here. And I mean, we took wins in it. Whether or not you think we're bearish, traders have already been profiting for these moves. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if we're right or wrong, but we have been right about context for a while. Okay. And even if Bitcoin comes lower, we already made profits here. Okay. So this is all that matters. This is just for fun. But as I say, I highly disagree on where we're going on Bitcoin. I believe we reached the bottom. And yeah, this is not the same as this one. Okay, what I see is tons of S&Ds, clean S&Ds, not like here. I don't see any clean S&D that is followed by a big move. Just this move, okay? And there was never a stage two, which stage two is just basically the delivery of price coming in higher. And instead, there was stage one and stage two to the downside, okay? And in this area, I see tons of S&Ds that were followed by very strong moves. For example, right here goes up, right here goes up, leaves imbalance, then comes down, and yeah, double S&D with mixed with imbalance comes higher, then comes down, S&D, S&D. There's imbalance somewhere around here. There's imbalance here, S&D here, and mind you, there's another S&D, a new S&D right over here that left imbalance here in this area. So this is very good. And not only that, you wanted for extra confirmation, because I think I have been trading Bitcoin since I cannot really tell. I think it has been around here or here. I'm not sure. Probably around here I traded Bitcoin. Okay, but if you wanted extra confirmation, you could have just waited for this or even this. This is the clearest that Bitcoin has ever been on the buy side, and this is just amazing. You could have just waited for this, and you could have bought on the upside right over here. Okay, so in short, I see tons of S&Ds followed by strong moves that leave imbalance. Not only that, we are pulling up. The EMAs are turning below the 10, 20, the 50. Only the 200 hasn't done that yet. And now it's even better that the price pulled up and pulled back into the 10, which shows me strength. Okay, it doesn't mean we're gonna just come higher all the way. We're gonna be super bullish. Price can still do lots of things, but this shows me that there's strength coming in. Okay, now let's go into a lower time frame, the 4-hour time frame. Okay, what happened here? Okay, from around this point, for me, I think this was the first time I traded Bitcoin in a while, either here or here. But here, price got really clean on the lower time frame. Okay, 30-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame. Those were all time frames that you could have traded. Okay, now this was a great move. Okay, but again, if you wanted something clearer, you could have waited for this. And in this moment, I started getting interested. Okay, and followed, into profits. I got a break even here. This was even more clear when price pulled down to the 10, and then we followed right over here. Okay, now think about this. Price is in every single EMA is below, which basically tells us not only we're bullish, there's momentum. Okay, we're below the 200 EMA, the 50, which are the main ones for trend, overall trend, long term. Uh, Now we see that we're below, sorry, the price is above the 10 and the 20 and the 5, which shows me that there's tons of momentum. Price is pulling back into these EMAs and following up. This is amazing. We're coming off of this, how to say, this stage one, following for a stage two. The moment that we go above this area, which is coincidentally above the S&D that was getting formed on the lower time frames, I go in lower time frames and see what happens. We were coming from this pullback right over here, following right over here, which we actually, I don't know if I took this trade. I'm not sure, but this was a great move. Yeah, I actually took this trade. It was one of the trades that I posted on my YouTube shorts. You can see it. Yeah, it was this trade, I believe. Yeah, it was this one. Okay, so this was a good trade. I think it was this one. Then after this happened, we pulled that back below the 20, almost into the 50, which is good. Pull back up again into the 30-minute time frame, and then pull back into the 20, which is a great, it's just a great trade, right? Now, we're coming back here in this area, and price is getting a little bit choppy, but just pay attention, because once the 30-minute time frame gets good and gets clean, we're gonna see tons of opportunities. Unfortunately, this video was supposed to be out yesterday, and we didn't realize there was no sound. But it was a great prediction. I was making a video while this trade was happening, and if you traded this whole area, it was great for you. Okay, now um, the next thing to wait for is only the 30-minute time frame. It already set up once, but if it keeps setting up, just keep an eye on. We might see maybe a move to the 50, or maybe this just turns back down. It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, keep an eye on Bitcoin. This is a weekly, the weekly outlook, right? And yes, this is a paid um, perk of the private mentorship. If you buy the private mentorship, you'll get also the weekly outlook automatically, or you can just get this individually. But if you don't, it's okay. I always like to give one asset that I think will move up every week on the weekly outlook. Just to give you a taste of what this mentorship can do for you. And if you don't want to get the mentorship, you can just get the outlooks. This is just a little taste of what you can get. Okay. So in short, everything looks great. Just wait for either the 30-minute time frame or the 1 hour time frame if you want to start, moving higher with momentum. Watch for the EMAs pulling back, the 10 and 20, maybe the 50, and that's pretty much it. Everything is ready to set up. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon.